here and switch their feet. You can come here. You get inside position. Step. Boom! So now we'll look into what we're going to do with those grips once we get them. So a lot of times when we're right on right, so our person has their right foot forward and I have my right foot forward, I'm expecting this hand is going to reach for this collar, because that's what I want. My main goal is to get my power hand on my partner's knee. So when I know that's coming, I'm going to anticipate it. When he reaches, I can either just parry it away and keep fighting, or what I like to do is if he comes, grab. Once I grab, I'm going to start pushing into the hip and finding that pistol grip. All right, so I need to put pressure in first, so now I can make contact here. Once I've secured this hand and I'm leaning into it and I've got good pressure, my next step is going to be to take my power hand, connect, and then peel the gi and bring it in. So when I do this, I'm not trying, it's not going to be like late in the match and the gi's going to be open and it's going to be real simple for me to just like ride the rail and find the gi. A lot of times when we're first starting out and I get this first grip, I'm pistol grip to the hip here. Now this is all closed up. So instead of trying to like find my way in and like pinch and peel and miss, contact, peel, open. Now I'm in, and I've got my four fingers rolled in and locked so that my grip's not tight, it's just hooked in, and then we're off to the races. We step out to the side, pull, top of the triangle. When you get that big loud noise, that's how you know that your partner's way off balance and ready to get thrown. Okay? So for this next drill, go slow with your partner so you can get the reaction time. Once they reach, catch it. And if you notice, I'm not catching the gi here either, right? I'm just catching the partner. Now I've got these bones in my hand, I'm going to press them into the hip, and then I'll pull and get that pistol grip as I go. Then my other hand connects to the chest, I open the gi with my thumb and wrap my four fingers in. Step, as I step, I pull to the top of the triangle. My foot lands in between his feet, right? If I pull and I'm over here, there's some throws, but my world's not that wide open. Obviously, if I'm over on this side, it doesn't work too well. If I'm too close, if I'm too far away, right? The secret to the top of the triangle is landing in roughly the same spot every time. And that comes from this step. If I step way far back and I pull, we're really close when he turns the corner. If I step out and I pull him around, he's way over on the side. If I step pretty even and about a person width away, and then I pull him around and I adjust my top foot as I come around, I'm pretty much always ready to go. Right, so my arms are kind of bent, good sleeve control, good collar control, foot at the top of the triangle. All right? Questions? All right, let's go a quick 5 on that. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Now we're at the top of the triangle. One of our favorite throws we do from that is the Osotogari. It's the backwards reap throw. So when we get to the top of the triangle, we end pretty much in the middle of our partner's feet. We have a good pistol grip and a good collar grip. All we're going to do is we're going to shift their head over their body, step to the side here, and then our leg is going to come through and behind, and then we just push them over, right? If we were doing this full speed, I'm not going to throw, if we were doing this full speed, right, I would come in, I would like send it. But we don't need to do that to score the 2 points we get in jiu-jitsu, right? All we need to do is control the takedown. So I don't need you guys to come in and like rip into the entire earth this way and bring your leg all the way up and finish nice and straight. What I need is I need you to put him down at your feet so then you can go to like knee on belly or side control or something else, right? So top of the triangle, hand up. I bring his head over his hip line. This is probably the biggest secret. I've got to drive the elbow in, head over. So now all the weight's loaded up on this leg. All I'm going to do here is just take my foot, put it behind, and then just push him over. And see where he is? Right at my feet. And I keep the sleeve grip. I can come right in, step over and take the arm. I can just go to a knee on belly. There's all kinds of moves from there. So one more time, off the top of the triangle. Again, the secret is to get his head over his hip line. Right? If I do all the moves correctly, but I leave him here, it's a 50-50 who wins. As soon as I step here, if he pushes, there's a good chance I'm going over. If I get him off balance, this kazushi we talk about in judo where his head's outside his hip line, now, just this little step behind his leg, straight down, keeping the sleeve, right? So on this throw, whenever you're taking the throw, chin to your chest, right, make sure we're break falling. Otherwise, go nice and slow on this. Accentuate the lean. get your partner to push their head all the way across their hip line. If they're still pretty vertical, don't just go over for them, right? Make them realize the weight's not right. Okay? Question? Yeah?
What's the motion for the, I see, cause like sometimes I notice if I'm stepping in and coming here, like if they have a tight arm, is you said the motion down as I'm going like
yes,
this?
yeah, you want
to kind of
to
break it?
turn. You want to turn him so that you get the top of the upper body to lean over. So if you can, right, if he's here with a really stiff grip,
Yep.
right, we've done this one before, but if you can't beat this, right, then we do that cross step and we get to the side because now the arm no longer matters. Pull him to us and throw. But in all likelihood, if you just pull to the top of the triangle, this grip's going to be kind of suspect and you should be able to just cut it, right? So if you're here, let's say we're in a match, we don't have sleeve control, but we have a sleeve grip, right? So we get our second hand on, maybe we're in a 50-50, and so we're just kind of stalemating. All you have to do is pull to the top of the triangle. When you set, cut. So that cut becomes part of pulling to the top of the triangle. If you're in a 50-50, we've always talked, it's a great point, we always talk about doing the pull from sleeve dominance, where we're sitting here one-handed and they don't have any grips. If we pull to the top of the triangle and he has a grip, when you rip around and you cause that chaos, that's when the grip's going to become weak, and that's a great time to cut. Right? So if we're locked up here and we don't know what's going on, we're just kind of like bullying each other, step to the side, pull, cut. Now this hand is here, push, step, deep. Right? Great question. Anyone else? All right, let's go 5. 1, 2, 3. All right, so we feel comfortable with the Osoto. There's multiple things that we can do off of this. One of the things is, like Phil was saying, that this is a real classic throw you see a lot in jiu-jitsu, right? So a lot of guys are gonna expect that you're gonna go for that backwards trip, because it is pretty safe in jiu-jitsu, right? If I miss this, then like we just kind of get locked up and he backs out, like really get myself in a bad position, right? We've done other throws where like if we're lazy with our seoi, he just starts to pull me back in and oh no, I got seatbelt and I got a rear naked choke locked in, right? This one doesn't give you a lot of those. So a lot of people are gonna be looking for it and expecting it. So we'll use their expectations to send them in the other direction. So if we're here, I make this step, he knows it's coming, he's gonna start to fight it and resist it by just pushing back in the right direction. When he pushes, all I do is change my hips, pull across, and I block the far leg. Right, sending him over for Sasai. We've talked about Sasai before, I think Coach Pat has shown it in our stand-up classes before, but now we're just using their momentum against them. Right, so they've read the tea leaves, they know Osoto's coming, and they're gonna push back into me. When they do come here, we just send them back across, right? And all it is just shifting the hips. So we step for Osoto here to push in. When they come back, we just open the door, shift, and then pull with that collar hand, and then just stick the foot out. Now for Sasai, you wanna aim for between the ankle and the shin. Right? This isn't Giza where we're up here in the knee and we're not trying to hit the foot. You want to block right on the shin. Right? Turn your foot sideways. We're not trying to like karate kick anybody and we're not kicking field goals. So you want to block here. And then it's just a pull. And I say block, and I'm reinforcing block because we're not trying to sweep the leg out and we're not trying to kick their leg out. Right? We're literally just timing it so where we put that foot right in front and then pull them across it. Okay? The key here to open up your hips. If you try to do Sasai with closed hips here, and you try to do this, it's not enough. You can't pull hard enough, and you're going to throw yourself if you keep trying to throw that. So instead, here, open the hips, pull across. Okay? And then when we pull, sleeve hand, right, we work going down and over. Now when we come up, kind of the opposite, sleeve hand comes up, and the collar hand goes down. All right, so now we're pushing this way. When you lift with your sleeve hand, it's not trying to push the hand up, like he has a question in math class. We're trying to drive the elbow up so that we can turn the body. All right. This way, the lever becomes really long, and I have to move it really far to get it in motion. I keep the lever short, much more control. And then I pull with this hand out and down. So I get this action here, where it's out, down, and around. That way he spins over and then runs back. All right? Questions about this one?
Just to hit real quick. quick? Could you show
Yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah. So for the hips, again, top of the triangle, we step for Osoto. All we're doing is just turning our hips. So here, Osoto Gari, as he comes back, you pull it, right? Good? All right, let's go 5 times each. 1, 2, 3. Here, and switch our feet. You can come here. You get inside position. Step. Boom! So we're in this mirrored position. My collar hand immediately becomes an inside frame, right? I don't give it up. I fight for the inside, and then I bow out his arm, right? So now, this looks a lot like half guard, right? Like I'm fighting for the underhook. So that's exactly what we want. We just want tension. The difference is that I have good sleeve control, and I'm pushing here. So as he's trying to face me, I'm gonna keep tension. Now, tight and tension across the arm. This elbow's up, wraps around the back. You notice I'm not wasting time finding a handle. I'm just grabbing and pulling my partner in. So now we're in this like T position where I'm looking at the side of his face. All I'm gonna do is step to the top of the triangle, then my other foot comes in front of his foot, and my hips go all the way across. When my hips go over, he becomes very easy to pick up. And then you just jump up at your feet.
We're gonna control that sleeve the whole time.
What's that?
We're controlling that sleeve.
Yes, because the sleeve, once we get up here, the sleeve, pulling that sleeve across is what causes the rotation. That's what causes the rotation,
Okay.
so that he falls on his back. Otherwise, you could just pick him up and put him on space, I guess. Fine. But the rotation, then the rotation will dump him back at your feet, and then it's like the first technique. Right, we're ready to knee in the octave, step over to the arm bar, knee on belly, mount, side pull. So, here, good collar grip, they trade positions, because they think that's gonna help with the sleeve control. Get in nice and tight on this, right? As soon as they start to do this stuff, fight for the inside position. Get this in tight. Then, elbow up, so we open up the door, wrap around, and then secure. Step to the top of the triangle. Here, top of the triangle, foot across, hips out. Right, you should be able to lift him up. And then it's just a matter of bringing your arm and sleeve together and putting him right down at your feet. Okay? Questions on that one? All right, let's give that one a shot. Let's go 5 times each. Ready? 1, 2, 3.